कहाँ जाएंगे? Right? And make exit an important decision, not driven by profit or loss. I think very important. People want to bloody sell the flowers and water the weeds. So people want to sell the profitable investments and keep the loss-making ones. So I think every exit should be, and I have a slide on exit, should be an independent decision. Right? Exiting an investment. When would I exit an investment? First thing is I have limited capital, and everybody in the world, whether it is Tata, whether it is Birla, whether it is GE Capital, everybody has limited capital. So when I find that my asset, any other asset gives me rate of return which is better than what I anticipate on this one, I will exit an asset. I will exit some investment, right? Then review of critical factors. Suppose I feel that Titan's business model is affected, the growth will not come, or some other company is able to dominate, or the margins are permanently impaired, I may sell, right? Relative opportunity, as I explained the first one. EPS or EPS expectation peaks, this is very important. You know, in Infosys, in 2000, McKinsey and NASSCOM did a study that software industry in India is going to grow 100% every 2 years. So for 2 years, 3 years, Infosys profits grew 100%. Everybody assume for next 10 years it will grow 100%. So EPS should not peak, may not peak, but if expectation of EPS peaks, that could be a exit point, right? And absurd P's, because expectation of P is of absurd expectation, right? I think that's the time to sell. And remember one thing, it's not driven by profit and loss, it has to be an independent decision. Okay, sir. I think I'll pass this. You can read this on your own. This is what my partner has written for me. Fair enough? See, these are ethos. This I like to explain. Rare enterprises. Our first ethos is God's grace and elders' blessings. Because I believe that what we are in the world is not because what we are. We are what we are in the world because of the grace of God and the blessing of elders. There is a set of circumstances which have come together and brought us where we are. But those circumstances have not been necessarily created by us only, right? And they have been created by God, by elders, right? And therefore never get the belief that I am what I am because I am smart, I am successful. Never forget there is an upper hand, and that hand can go anytime. So I would say my biggest prayer is God's grace and elders' blessings, right? Then I have an aim to win all wars despite losing many a battle. Churchill has said, that you have to lose many a battle to win a war. I think you all must read his life, right? And I think in life, I'm married for 22 years. I must have shouted at my wife at least 220 times, or maybe 2,200 times. My wife would have shouted at me 2 times. But because she doesn't shout, she wins the war, right? She loses the battle of shouting, but she wins the war of my love and regard for her, right? I mean, I give you so many examples for trading. You made a mistake, lose the battle, move on. And of course, I have a motto, where the health is high and the mind is without fear. I don't want to do anything in life where my head cannot be held high. I have far lesser will than people think, but far more than I need. Wealth also has a purpose in life, right? So why should I do anything where I can't hold my head high? And that's why I don't manage anybody's money. Except my wife's, I have no choice. Because I don't want to be answerable to anybody. Right? And I must tell the ladies, I had a professor in law college in Sydney who used to say, as long as you are married to your wife under the provisions of the Indian Penal Code, you cannot be charged with raping her, but you can be charged with stealing her money. Right? So her money, his money is his money and her money is her money. Don't forget legally also. And then we have a logo, Rare Enterprises, green, compounding. Rare because Rekha is my only wife, and I am R.A. Rakesh, she's R.E. Rekha. Right? And we have baseline, this my partner is made inside intellect integrity. I don't know, I will tell you all things of my life if you are interested, I don't know. See, my father was a commissioner of income tax. I suffered a childhood sickness. I had paralysis of the leg and hand, and I had meningitis, and I lost my sight. I lost all my functions, and mysteriously, I don't know, they gave up. Then I'll knock off at 3.5. Then when doctor was there, did an operation. They found a tumor in my spinal cord, and everything came back. And I was always a very curious and assertive child. And I was the youngest in the family. Or chote hote hain khote. Right? So, and because of my sickness, my parents were taking special care for me. I went to school first in 2nd standard. Right? And my father always used to say, मेरा तो कोई business है नहीं. पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो कुछ कमाओगे. नहीं तो प्यून की नौकरी तो कहीं भी मिल जाएगी. Right? So I was a reasonably good student. I completed my chart. You know, my father was interested in the stock market. So he would discuss with his friends in the evening the stock market. So I tell my daddy, ये सब ग्वालियर का भाव, what are you all talking? Well, you see some news comes on Gwalior, the stock goes up and down. So you see, that's why the stock market moves. So, you know, at the age of 14, 15, some are interested in airplanes, some are interested in cricket, some are interested in girls. I got interested in the stock market. So I would read avidly about it. First I would read balance sheet. I'll say share capital, reserve and surplus. Oh, this is a good company. Right? I used to feel those companies were good, high share capital. And I used to wonder, these are like multinational companies, they don't have high reserve and high share capital. Why the price is so high? And all these Indian companies, they have such high book values. Right? Then I learned to read a balance sheet. I did my BCom, did my chartered accountancy. So 1985, my father said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go to the stock market. So my father said, never do this. I'll never give you any money. Don't go to any of my friends. Right? You have a house here, you can live here. You are a chartered accountant, if you don't succeed in the market, you can always earn 15,000-20,000 a month. He gave me that sense of security. He said, never forget, your word is your bond, be fearless, may God bless you. For He is the only blesser. No money, my mommy is saying, who will marry you? Going to the stock market, doing satta. Nobody will give you a girl also. I said, Mommy, don't worry, you'll have one less daughter-in-law to trouble you. Right? I went to the stock market, started. I used to carry a bag, go to the street. Anybody who always, father has taught 1 ear, 2 ears and 1 mouth, but never learned. So कोई भी customer मिला तो blah blah blah, Tata Power is good, this, that. So I had humble beginnings, initial hurdles, like my mom, no capital. Then I have a brother, he's a practicing chartered accountant. He got me loans of 20 lakhs. One Goan person, his client used to work in Dubai, he gave me 10 lakhs and he won't take security. I went to his house, I said, Mr. Mendonca, I'm in the stock market, you give me 10 lakhs, I don't want to keep your money without security. Boss, kal main satta kar dega. I want your security. Actually, he won't keep it. Rakesh said, I have faith in you. I said, no, Mr. Mendonca, you keep your security. That's how I started. 1985, boom. I had nothing when I started 5,000. In 1 year, I earned 20-25 lakhs. Paid 3-4 lakhs tax. I was the king of the world. Right? Graduated from smoking 4 square to 555. Right? Right? Fortunately, found some girl, married her. My parents found her, I won't lie. Married her. Then 2-3 years, nothing. What to do? My father said, put a factory. So I went to Hyderabad. I had 20-25 lakhs I had earned. That I kept 20 lakhs. Bought Tata Power shares and kept them. Right? Then my father said, I will come in the factory also. I said, Daddy, you are from the government service. You can come here once in 3 months, review everything, and you please stay in Bombay. He said, no, no. I said, I am going to Bombay. Right? So then I came back. You know, these were initial hurdles, but I had belief that no, I'll do well. And my father had told me, if you don't do, bola kiska karna nahi. Don't take anybody's money, don't take any, and then by nature I'm very careful in money matters, right from childhood, right? So, I mean, I had 15-20 lakhs saving. I said, market will, you know, give opportunity. Then I met some friends, right? I met Radhakishan Dhamani. He took me to Nimesh Bhai, Ramesh Dhamani, Kamal Kabra, very good people and all well-intentioned people. So, interacting especially with Radhakishan ji, I learned a lot of good things in life. My approach to market changed. I also learned on the job. Maturity, I got maturity about markets. Then came Madhu Dhanwad, then came this, again I went to my dad in 89. Daddy, I said I have 15 lakhs. You give me 15 lakhs loan. I said, you give me 1 year grace period. After that, I'll pay you money like a truck driver pays a monthly installment. My father said, no, I'll not go. Then I said, how to get the money? So I said, I'll trade. There's no other way. I had never done any speculation until 89. Right? But I knew it's the stock market is fire. Upon Mr. Mendoza का share ले लेवे, कभी सट्टा कर दे, boss, I'll go and commit suicide if I can't give anybody's money. Right? And then, I did the initial trades. I learned the importance of capital protection. I paid 2.5 lakhs tax in 1985. I used to feel like a king. First, we invested money to go have a drink here. 2 lakh ka tax ka check sign kar, you feel like a king here. Right? This was the initial phase. Then came the budget. Then I remember I made money in Sisago. There used to be one Mr. Bajaj. He used to explain to everybody, just like I used to explain Tata Power to everybody. Nobody would listen to him. And then when he explained the facts to me, I couldn't believe it here. That in iron ore, the prices are fixed 1 year in advance, 6 months in advance. For the next year, already, they had got a price rise of about 26% in iron ore, right? And there was considerable difference in foreign exchange rates between the last year and the current year. So next year was going to be a bumper year. And Sisago was 26 rupees, nobody would listen to me. And Radhakishan Damani and Kamal ka. So I used to explain to them, I was the guy who was convinced. I bought 3 lakh shares. I had 50 lakhs worth of Tata Power. I bought 3 lakh shares. Leverage, what is the rest? I'll go to 15 rupees, I'll sell Tata Power and pay it. And I'll tell Radhakishan and Kamal and they'll laugh at me. And the price went from 26 to 65 in 3 months. And from 65 to I think 2200 in 3 years. That's how I made the real initial money. And then came Madhu Dhanwad's budget. I remember Radhakishan had taken me to meet Nimish Bhai. People were so bearish. And I was sure that, and one thing that VP Singh will not give a budget will hurt the business community. See, he was the man who first reduced rates of tax, who abolished estate duty. And although he was a Thakur, he was a businessman. So I staked my life in that budget. Right? And I must have been worth 1.5 crores when the day of the budget, and I was worth 20 crores the next day. I staked my life. Right? And that's how I made the real initial money. Okay. Then, when we experienced the great, I remember the index Teji started at 600. Then I think it went to 1800. Then came the Gulf War. Right? The index came back to 1100, 1200. And then came Mr. Mehta. The great Mr. Arshad Mehta. Right? So initially when the stock, we bought ACC. I had taken delivery, I remember, of some 15,000 shares of ACC at 300. We sold at 2,800, 2,900, 3,200, 3,300. Price came back to 2,300, 2,400. Then it came back 3,500. We all shorted. Then one cold afternoon, I all short and price. I went and cut all my shorts. Then we made money in the rise. And then we knew all this thievery money. When the market came down, we made the money of our life. And then, trading, investing, cooking, it can't be taught. It has to be learned. And it has to be learned on the field. I mean, my mummy jo dal banati hai, my wife can't make. She has seen my mother make it 100 times. Right? So it is something which is, you have to learn. Shorting and pyramiding we learned. I trade actively, boss. I'm not only an investor and all. My father has not left me any inheritance, so I have to earn and invest. Right? We learned shorting and pyramiding. We learned prudent betting, that how in markets you have to be very prudent. You learn to take a loss. Then I realized one thing in life which is very important. I think ambitions cannot overshoot market opportunity. I think what happens, look at Rakesh, enough money, right? Let's put some industry. My wife will say, what are you doing it all for? Kuch kaam dhanda to tha nahi. Kya karte? Dividend income se jeete the, aaram karte the. No trading, investing when there's not much work, right? The importance of reading, experiencing and learning. Then when you introspect, to understand what you have learned, what you have gone through, right? Then participation in tech boom. When I set up the software, I am illiterate as far as software is concerned. And all this young generation people understood, apne ko 97 tak samajh hi nahi aata tha. What is this software? Yeah? Never used a computer. I used to think it's garbage.